Hey, welcome to the Cohn Phone. I'm Grant Cohn. Sunday morning, a little early. I'll be here for the next hour or so. We all got a big weekend. We all need to be outside doing fun things. So I just want to get you before you go. If you got something you want to say, bring it in. Let's talk about it. All I ask is let's not rehash the incident from earlier this week. You want to talk about the conversation about it, how I do my job. That's all fair. You have any discussion, critiques, questions about my integrity or whatever, professionalism, we could talk about it, but let's not rehash that one incident because I've done it a million times. And to Javon's credit, he hasn't done it at all. So I'm trying to be like Javon on this one and you know, not talk about it constantly. So that's my request. If you want to call in, there is a link in the chat and in the description. So be my guest. First guest, Sammy B. What's up, Sammy?
Morning, Grant. It's so awesome to be on the show. I've never done this before. I've been following you for a long time. Was reading the articles back when you were writing for Santa Rosa Press Democrat.
Nice, man. Thanks for
Huge
calling in.
fan of yours. Yeah, don't want to rehash the incident or anything, but I don't catch all the live stuff. I caught that live though, and it was definitely crazy. But huge fan of yours. I'm really glad everything kind of like y'all squashed that because it just wasn't good for the team wasn't a good look or anything, but yeah, just really looking forward to this season. And dang, what do you think we're gonna, I mean, I know you said that you thought our record was gonna be 9-5.
No. I think I had it at 9-8.
9-8, that's right.
Yeah,
9-5 doesn't even make sense. Sorry, I'm just waking
It's early.
up. But yeah, so and then you said what, 5 players need to perform, mostly O-line, Trey Lance. What do you think the defense is going to be like? Do you think we're going to have a top 5 defense this year?
I think so. I think the thing about the Niners defense is it statistically ranks top 5 most years. It's a great pass rush. There's typically a good run defense too. But the secondary is like solid, not great. And I feel like D'Amico kind of plays it very conservatively where he just has everyone kind of back off. And so you'll see on third down, they're not great. They're not a great defense on third down, despite having that pass rush, because you saw it like in Tennessee and against the Rams. Even third and long, if you just run a stop route, the Niners will pretty much give it up because they don't want to get beaten deep. So, yeah, I feel like to take the next step as a defense, they need some better secondary play, and that's why they got Travarius Ward. So maybe they will be like a legit top 5 defense across the board this year.
Yeah, and speaking of D'Amico Ryans, how does Kyle convince these guys to stick around for another year after they're up for a head coaching gig? Because
that's funny.
The rumors were it seemed like it was a lock that he was the guy for Minnesota, and that's not really like a bad roster. You'd think that would be a pretty good situation to go into. It's not the toughest division out there. Whereas, with Saleh, he sticks around for another year and does pretty well and then winds up, as the head coach of the Jets, which I don't imagine is anybody's first choice.
Right. I think what's happening is it's harder to get a head coaching job if you're a defensive coordinator than if you're an offensive coordinator. They just don't. I mean, and for good reason, right? It's a quarterback-driven league. You want a coach who can really get the quarterback right and get the best out of them. So for a defensive coach to become a head coach, like they kind of have to be elite for a sustained period of time. So it's like, well, the guy, I mean, he's not a quarterback guru, but he's really great at defense. And so Saleh had to prove it multiple times. I think D'Amico's the same. But to me, isn't it kind of interesting that like D'Amico, 1-year coordinator, Mike McDaniel, 1-year coordinator. D'Amico was all on his own. No one helping him on the defense. McDaniel wasn't even calling plays. It's Kyle's offense. Who becomes the head coach? McDaniel.
Yeah. And it's
his offense.
Both McDaniels are going with the Sean McVay route and just kind of going all in and pushing all their chips in the middle of the table for this year.
Isn't it crazy how McDaniel's doing that, but Kyle's not? I mean, they were like for 20 years. And now McDaniel gets his first shot and he's like, okay, I'm doing this different. Interesting. McVay's the same way.
Yeah.
Two of like Kyle's underlings in the past diverging.
Went the exact opposite route.
Yeah.
And is that story about Kyle being in Cabo when he got the call about Stafford and stuff like that, and it seems like Kyle almost tried to get Stafford, and maybe should have tried a little harder to get, Aaron Rodgers. I don't know, but
or Tom Brady, or Patrick Mahomes, or Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. Sorry.
Yeah.
You could go down the list with different
Yeah, we could.
quarterbacks, but thankfully Kirk Cousins never turned into a thing because I don't think that would have worked out for us at all, especially at 28 mil guaranteed every year.
Sammy, I got to take some more calls, man. But thank you for being first. You were great. Calling anytime.
Absolutely.
All
Nice
right, man.
chatting with you, Grant. Have a good one.
You too. Eric, you ready? What happened to you? Where'd you go? Eric, if you put your camera back on, I'll bring you on. Gammon, what's up? Can't hear you. Can't hear you. It's the Bluetooth thing. It's cool. It's cool. Hey, I'll come right back to you. What's up, Rod?
What's going on, Grant? Good
How
to
you
see
doing?
you, brother.
Good to see
Pretty
you too.
good. Just a couple of comments before I go into anything big. I like the way you and your father actually had that explanation of things. I think it was an excellent timing, and I think he did a tremendous job clearing things up. And if you will, I just want to make the statement that I think that in this professional football league, there's a lot of things that they're saying are being watered down, like how they're always being so protective of the quarterbacks. And, a lot of things are being said about how they're making the league softer now.
Yeah.
So maybe some of that can be dragged in it too, man. But I honestly think both of you guys did a tremendous job of clearing the air. And I think you did a good job of trying to give him the opportunity to speak. So
thank you. Appreciate it, Rod.
No doubt.
Thank you.
Back into some football things, though. One of the main things that I wanted to ask you about today is about that offensive line. Daniel Brunskill, I remember in the beginning, we had him playing more tackle than we did guard. And I think also he didn't even play center in the beginning. So why haven't they reconsidered this possibility, do you think?
Him at center? Maybe they have.
No,
I mean,
I'm saying him back at the tackle position.
Him at tackle? I don't know what their plan is with him right now, Rod, because he's hurt. He wasn't out there. Like the first team offensive line last week didn't include him, and I don't know if he's going to be there until training camp. Like the right guard was Jalen Moore, the right tackle is Justin School, the center's Jake Brendel. So I don't know where Brunskill factors in, but you're right. I mean, maybe they should move him back over to tackle. He was a better right tackle than Justin School. He was.
And I mean, it goes back to the topic you had before about how the 49ers, why do they a lot of times get players and try to plug them in positions that they never had experience in the past? That's just like
even on the offensive line. Especially
did the same thing with Solomon Thomas, who was a defensive tackle when he was at Stanford, and they brought him to the end. Do you think that there's a possibility that Kyle is trying to do what his father did, or more or less what Bill Walsh did, and just have a bunch of Kyle guys now, so maybe they can stick around and he can have his own tree?
Oh, you talking about the coaches?
Yes.
I can see it. I mean, I think as long as Kyle is looked at as like the genius that he is, his coaches are going to keep getting poached. So he has to keep replenishing them. And I think he's actually pretty good at it. I think he has a really good eye for talent and coaches. I think he knows who's legit and who's not. I could be wrong about that. But even on defense, I think he really, because his dad was a coach. He's like kind of been groomed for the job his whole life. I think he really has a good sense of who knows their shit to be,
right.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Last question.
Yeah.
Do you think that the fact that, and I know you did bring this up before, but do you think that the fact that Clay Kubiak is an assistant to Brian Griese, that there's a possibility that Trey might be a little bit more flexible as far as his intangibles at the end of the day?
Well, the thing that's interesting to me about Clay Kubiak, let me look him up real quick. Let me see what the Niners list him as. Assistant quarterbacks coach. That's funny because he's the one with coaching experience. Griese's never been a coach. So when the Niners hired Griese, my objection was, Lance has a lot to learn in terms of mechanics, in terms of everything. Wouldn't you want someone coaching him who actually has experience coaching that's not learning on the job? Well, that's Clay. They brought in someone like that. He doesn't have somehow he's like the underling to Griese, but the guy is there. And the way Griese was talking about him is like, man, this guy, like, I just want to be a quarterback coach. This guy is going to be a coordinator, a head coach. Very interesting. So I think that's someone on the staff to look at as a potential riser.
Okay.
Clay. Yeah.
That's some good information.
Yeah. To me, I'm watching the freaking warm up, and looks to me like Clay Kubiak's the quarterback. He's running the warm up. Griese's watching, almost like he's An intern. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. But I mean, come on, it's his first time. How is he going to run it when Clay actually has the experience?
Right.
Just saying. Hey,
Some good
I took
information.
a video of it. You can watch it. I'll do it again on what they're going to have a practice on Wednesday. It's interesting. Clay's the one, on his knee, hiking the ball, and Greasy's like catching passes. It's like getting his feet wet, an apprenticeship. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Well, last thing, man, I just want to say thank you, man, for the footage that you do give us inside where nobody else can go and look. I don't think you get enough appreciation for that. But thank you, man. Love all you do.
Thanks, I appreciate you, man. See you. Let's start gamming again. Gammon.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Woo! Let's go. All right, I'm so excited. All right, so a couple big things I want to talk about. So first thing is the that cut block rule, right? So one of the things that we've been noticing with Kyle Shanahan's offense is that the divide or the gap between the outside zone scheme, right, or that zone scheme that he had, which is where the linemen block in space, to where it's now that bar is kind of sliding to the more of like a power scheme that we're kind of noticing, where it's now more of like a hat on a hat, and it makes sense with the players that he's drafting. When we think of power schemes, we think of like the Jim Harbaugh 49ers, but we would actually be more closer to the Eddie Lacy backfield of the Green Bay Packers, where they kind of had a different kind of position group. And if you look at some of the players that we drafted, right? So Tyrion Davis-Price, Jordan Mason, they move very similar. And the other thing I really like about Jordan Mason is I wonder if he's got an actual shot of kind of being higher on the depth chart, a la the same way that Mitchell did with Sermon last year. He's not going to wow you with his highlight tape, but he's a great passer and a great blocker. But that was kind of number one. The other thing I want to talk about is I do believe that this offense is going to come out really, really slow this season. And I think it's fair to be expected. I mean, if you were Trey Lance, imagine the fact that you don't have your center. And your center, can help you with calling out blitzes, right? Take some of that load and responsibility. The other thing, too, is that the offense last season started off kind of slow and kind of shaky, and there was a lot of problems at offensive line. Well, we just lost 2 Pro Bowl offensive linemen in Laken Thomason and then our center right now, right? With I didn't know his first name was Javon either. Like there's the other Javon Alex Mack, right? So if he retires,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if he retires, now all of a sudden we're just expecting a first year starting quarterback with a first year starting guard, I don't know who we're going to have at center, and then a first year possibly. I mean, with the way they're going, right guard. I mean, anything's possible. So and we were already nervous last season with the interior of our defensive line, our offensive line. We just lost 2 Pro Bowl guys. So that looking at that was some of the things that I was kind of looking at, and then. Another thing too is I wonder if Kyle Shanahan's going to kind of go back to some of the things that he was kind of popular for or famous for, right? When we're kind of looking at that, one of the things that he
like when you were talking about with. Can we go back to the beginning when you were saying that they're going more to a power running scheme? Are you saying that like in the 90s, the way they ran the outside zone was with the cut blocks on the backside, which were really effective, and you can't do that anymore, right?
Right. Because now that it's a very, very small box, we're talking about just a couple yards that happens within. What the cut block really did for a lot of Shanahan offenses, which I mean, it wasn't just the everyone thinks of it as just like it's the Shanahans who really came up with it. But if there's 2 things that the 49ers should be synonymous with, right, as far as kind of bringing into the fold, it's the West Coast offense and the cut block. And Bob McKittrick, who was the offensive line coach for the 49ers from 1979 to 1999, really kind of instilled that. Mike Shanahan, who was with the 49ers the last time that we ran the Super Bowl, he adopted that technique and brought that with him over to the Denver Broncos. Well, guess who else was on that team, right? We're looking at Mike McCarthy. Now, Mike McCarthy, what he did was he really did a really kind of a good job of kind of using that. I want to say like that one back power, because what you would have is Aaron Rodgers. He would kind of have his 3 wide receiver sets and then like a tight end. Now, what's interesting was that their 2 tackles at the time, right? Bakhtiari and I want to say Barclay were some of the smallest tackle tandems in the league. And really, what you want for a power scheme is to have dominating tackles. They had a lot of success running it that year. I want to say in like 2014, 2013, I think is when Eddie Lacy got drafted. And they went to that because McCarthy was an outside or a zone scheme running game. And then that year, and that's why I think you're going to have the most similarities between what that Packers team did offensively with what the 49ers team did offensively. And the reason why I differentiate that and I didn't go for the 49ers is because I think it's easier to find, number one, the Eddie Lacy's of the world versus the Frank Gores. Also, too, Jim Harbaugh really liked to go with his tank-heavy sets that kind of matched what the players he was given by Bulky, which is slide in another offensive lineman. And you'd see those just like those massive units. And that's what I was kind of looking at when I was looking at Kyle Shanahan. If you're looking at the tight ends that he's getting, and he's getting all these blocking tight ends, because you're right, the cut block, you used to be able to go out there and just throw your body right to kind of block, and really, even if you didn't hit the guy, because those big offensive linemen had a hard time covering those smaller defensive linemen, you get to clear a path and kind of change the angle of that defender. They're not able to do that anymore. So I think now we're going to have something that's more similar to that. And I wonder if Gray is going to be kind of our new Taylor Gabriel, and if Shanahan's going to go back to something that he was kind of known for before he came to the 49ers, which was the I want to say it's the 1-3 personnel or 13 personnel with the 3 tight ends. But I know I just rambled. I'm not good at this whole thing. I don't know how you do that.
That was great, man. Thanks for calling. That was terrific.
Thank you. All right,
good time.
There we go.
See you again. All right. Hey, Carmelo, you're next. You just can't smoke on the show. All right. You good? All right. You cool. All right. What's up, Carmelo? How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Chilling, man. I'm chilling.
All right, so I want to commend you.
Is that Frank Gore? You got Frank Gore?
Yeah. That's Frank Gore, baby.
Nice. All right, what's up?
The legend running back. So, no, I wanted to say is I commend you on actually just standing up for Trey Lance, man. You know, everyone's just disrespected him, just putting him down, and you just came up and straight up, you're the second. Well, you're the first, but also, I heard from another podcast they were defending Trey Lance also, but you actually just stepped it up with the what the fuck, like I'm not fucking there.
I mean, we've heard a lot of stupid shit, but then to hear that was like, come on, man, like
exactly. Like
yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Number one, you don't have your facts straight,
right? No.
And number two, it's like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not there.
He's like, that's why they call him one play Trey. Like, no one calls him. What are you talking about?
One play Trey. You know, everyone's giving him Kittles, Ayuk. Everyone's giving him props. Like, hey, he's doing great this year.
Yeah.
And this guy's calling one play Trey. He just doing this just so he can get the props that the other guy has 15 seconds of fame of. About Trey Lance. It's like one person, all right, he got his 15 seconds. Let me talk shit so that way I can get mine too.
Absolutely. It's like, you get famous if you talk shit about Trey Lance? I can do that.
Exactly.
I have no problem doing that. Oh, have I ever seen him practice? Well, no. Do I know what I'm talking about? Well, no. But I can say I heard a guy that talked to a guy that knows a guy, so that makes me an insider. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, I watch you all the time, Grant, and you're awesome. And, every time I give you a thumbs up because, all your shows are phenomenal. The Kinlaw thing was kind of crazy, but he's an emotional person if you see it. He takes everything to the heart. And plus, he's probably like, he's hating the fact that he's injured and he can't play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
What's crazy is my first time like actually meeting him was last week, face to face.
Yeah.
I've been on the team 2 years. So now, I feel you. Like I definitely have a sense of what he's like.
Yeah.
Helps.
You know,
when you're
I
talking
just
about the
hope
people you
that
covered
never
actually know what
happens
they like.
again. But I'm glad you
Yeah.
guys peeped it out and you guys did
Yeah.
it in a manly fashion, man to man, straight up, you know, confidential. But that was awesome. You know what I mean?
Thanks,
That
man.
you guys pieced it out. You know, you guys
Thanks.
are men. You know, if you don't like something I say, we can calmly talk about it. You know, you don't have
Yeah.
to like go off like that.
Yeah. And it's funny, like, it seems like that's happened less and less in the world these days. Now, like,
Yeah.
everyone was really mad about me and Javon after we worked it out. And then as soon as Tommy Pham slapped Jock Peterson, no one cared about me and Javon anymore because they got like another high school drama to worry about. Like,
Oh yeah.
who cares about their fantasy football league? And if that,
Like
but yeah,
really, really,
you know what
you're
I mean?
gonna get that stupid over
But
fantasy
that is a
football?
huge freaking story right now. Everyone loves that.
Yeah, I know. But
Anyway.
especially that the fact that you had the opportunity to go on other popular shows so you can blow up, but you rather not. You know what I mean? You didn't
Here's
take
the way I look at
advantage
it. Like,
of the
look, me
situation,
and
making
Javon had no
yourself.
relationship. We got off to the wrong start. We
Yeah,
tried to
exactly.
we tried to rectify it, right? We shook
Yeah.
hands. And the whole idea is like, all right, let's try to build. I mean, we're not friends, but let's try to build a trust. We both said things. Let's stick to them. And for me
Oh,
to like come back and be like, okay, this is what we talked about, and this is what I think, and this is where it's like that would be super, super fucked up. And
yeah,
he's not doing that. So I just want to show him that I'm man of my word, just like he is. That's all I'm trying to say. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You guys are men. You guys are men of your words.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like Tony Montana said, you know what I mean? There's two things you can't break: a man's word and their balls.
That's right.
So
all I
you know,
have in this world, my balls and my word. That's right. All right, Carmelo. Great call.
all
Man.
right. Thank
Thanks.
you for having me, man. I'm gonna call again, but I'm gonna continue watching you and continue supporting you, Grant. Man, you're
Appreciate you,
awesome.
man.
And your dad's the same way. He's an awesome man too, man. He's amazing. God bless you guys, man.
Bless you too, man. Thank you. What's up?
How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm chilling. How you doing?
Good. Good. So I've got a couple. Well, first off the bat, the wobble. Is the wobble there? Is the wobble not there?
It
Is
is there. No. The
it's
thing with Lance is when he misses the throw, often it's like a like what was it's like a he's like a pianist, right? And when he misses the note, it's like he's not even close. It's like, what was that? But the rest of the song is phenomenal. That's the thing. Like he was 17 to 20. His 3 misses were wild. And you're like,
all right.
so yeah, it's still
Okay.
there. It's still there to a degree.
It's
But really,
okay.
he's a very efficient quarterback, Karan. Very efficient.
Okay. Okay.
Not
And
the
pace
most
is
natural of throwers, but he's working on it. He's 22.
he's 22. Is better touch down the middle?
Yes.
Or,
Yes. The whole
so
thing
that
was 7-on-7, which he's better in 11-on-11 because of play action and moving and stuff like that. But 7-on-7, he threw a lot of passes in the flat to the running backs, passes to tight ends right in front of him. And then the Jimmy Garoppolo throw, the 15-yard in route. I mean, he nailed him. And he wasn't nailing those last year. Last year was more like, let me throw the deep sideline. Let me try to wow people with the one down the field. Now he was actually operating a 7-on-7 drill like Jimmy. Or better.
Okay.
Better.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still sticking to 9 and 8, or
Yeah.
after what you've seen, are you more optimistic, or more pessimistic?
Well, I mean, my 2 big things. I have 3 big things why I'm going with 9 and 8. They didn't play Trey enough last year. That's their fault. I don't know what they did with the offensive line. That's their fault. And the schedule. That's not their fault. So I don't know what their offensive line is going to look like in September, but in May, all 5 starters from last year are gone. So I'm like in a little wait and see mode here. And if they're going to have like total, just nothing but question marks on the offensive line, then I'm going to stick with where I'm at, or maybe even go lower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, the best they've been since you've covered the team, or no? That's what it looks like to me. The actual the group of wide receivers seem like they're so much better than they have been.
Because the 2 starters are both, well, they have the best wide receiver in the league. They have an excellent number 2 receiver. Jennings is way better than Muhammad. Jennings is good. Jennings is a good player. And then they have Danny Gray, who's got a role. They got Ray McLeod, who's got a role. I mean, they're 5 deep. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone at secondary pleasantly surprised or still question marks? Because it seemed like that stuff has quieted down a little bit. I think if everyone had to pick one thing, I think it would be the offensive line, right? That would hold the team back from really getting into the playoffs, making noise. I think that's we're trying to see what's going to happen.
Let me put it this way. It was just one practice, but Trey Lance showed that secondary a ton of respect. He took no shots down the field. The only shots he took outside the numbers were quick throws. He essentially threw mostly to running backs and tight ends, and he did take those shots over the middle, but that was mostly against zone coverage when he had the right look. He wasn't challenging. He challenged Charvarius Ward one time, the pass on a pass over the middle to Jennings, left to right, a dig. Pass was just a little bit behind Jennings, broken up. That was the only time he tested Charvarius Ward. So to me, that's a sign of respect. That's a good thing from the secondary. I don't know. We'll see. And plus, there was no pass rush, so maybe it's a good secondary. I just don't know who their nickelback is. We'll have to see what that's about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then you are
say nice things about the 49ers. Like,
huh?
So what about the wide receiver? Oh, okay. What about this? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm teeing it up for you.
I like that. Okay. All right. Got it.
Do you see them in the next practice or no?
Yeah, Wednesday, baby.
Wednesday.
It would have been Tuesday, but it's a 3-day weekend, so Wednesday.
Okay, and this Wednesday is going to be much like it was the last time you were there on Tuesday. You don't know yet. Okay.
I don't know yet. They won't. They don't tell like the script, but I'm guessing it'll be a little bit more intense. I mean, they did mostly 7-on-7s, a little 11-on-11s with no helmets. I've never seen the no helmet thing. It's clever. The whole idea is let's not get hurt let's make this full speed without being 100% full speed. They'll probably put on helmets on Wednesday, I would think.
Okay. Any rookies stand out now that they were mixed in with the veterans or no? Or did they look like rookies now that they were mixed in with the veterans?
Not yet.
No.
I want to see Drake Jackson, but I mean, he didn't get a chance. He hasn't had a freaking chance yet to really do anything. Okay. I want to see Drake Jackson. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a good Memorial Day weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.
Too. Good to talk to you this week too, man. Thank you. Later.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Bye.
Mark, what's up, man? How you doing?
Real nice.
Great.
So I was just wondering how better you think the second-year player and the rookie this year will be, considering last year there were no OTAs. It was like no off-season with the Niners. We know that the Kyle Shanahan scheme and maybe a little complicated. So do you think it will have a real impact on those second years and your rookie player this year?
I think so. That's a great point. I've really forgotten. It's like the pandemic didn't happen. Around the world again with no masks. I'm like, yeah, that was ages ago. Yeah, that's right. There were no OTAs. Right? Is that right? Sounds right.
I think there were no OTAs last year or
man, I forget. It feels like ages ago. But yeah. No, but look.
I think the preparation of those rookies and second year player will be much better this year.
Yeah.
So I think so.
Absolutely. And like just the fact that there is a full off season. No, they did have OTAs last year. I'm sorry, they did. But they shut them down early. They got injuries. They didn't have mini camp. They shut it down early.
Yeah, that was weird. There was injury. They said, and they did a week without practicing.
So far, no big injuries. That's good. I think they're trying really hard to not go too hard in May. So that's good. But again, my like from one practice, the person I thought looked the most different from year 1 to year 2 was Talanoa. And I think Talanoa is a very interesting player. I don't know him as a person because the parallel between him and Trey Lance is amazing. Like they're both second year players who are going to start this year. The Niners both seem to have a lot of confidence in both of them, but the Niners spent so much more time preparing Talanoa for this moment than Trey. Like during the season, Jaquiski Tartt was the starter, but they would bring in Talanoa all the time into games and like, okay, Tartt, you're going to start, but you're going to have to split time. Like there was a platoon because hey, we gotta play.
But you know what's
Lance? He couldn't play though. Well, but he was hurt.
You know what stand up to me from Talanoa Funga versus Tartt? You know, Tartt dropped the interception that will make. But what Ofunga did, the guy who picked up the block punt from Willis was Ofunga, and it matters. It's not because he's a good safety or he's fast, but he was in the snow. A punt got blocked. The ball dropped it, and he saw the ball. He picked it up. Got it. Anybody on that team could have booted the football in the snow and it goes offline or so he has vision.
And maybe if Hufanga had been on the field, he would have caught that one that Tartt dropped.
And just to segue on it, was this you were talking? I thought it was with Jesse Naylor about the most impactful player or the player that may be making the greatest impact on the Niners. I think it was with Jesse. I really think it may be Jason Verrett, because his Verrett is healthy, and I don't mean like 100% Jason Verrett, like all pro player, but I wonder if he could be the nickelback this year. Do you think he have the skill set to do that with Mosley and Ward outside?
Be interesting. I mean, let's say he's now 30 years old, and after another ACL tear, he's just not quite as fast as he used to be, and he can't really hold up on the outside. And
I believe it would put less strain on his body to be a nickel. I think maybe it's not. Really...
Maybe it would be a way to extend his career. Like, it'd be interesting. He just needs to stay healthy, though. And I'm not sure how. I'm curious to see if he does anything in training camp, or if this is something that the Niners hope, like, he'll be healthy later on in the year.
He did it already on his career. He did it once, come back from it. So maybe
that's true. He can do it again. And there's no rush. It's not like he's going. Yeah. So.
But I believe if just hypothetical, if there is like Mosley, Ward, and Verrett at nickelback with Jimmy Ward and Ufunga, that's pretty nasty. Like,
it is pretty
coverage
nasty.
For the
absolutely.
Niners.
He just has to get healthy, stay healthy. I think he could do it. I think he's definitely talented enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that was about that. So,
but honestly, though, if Verrett is healthy, he would be their number one corner. If he's Verrett from 2 years ago, just start him and put him next to Ward.
Yeah, but I don't think it will be like. I don't know if it can be like. If it's 80% Verrett, I don't think it's better than Ward.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But hey, keep the flame burning. Like, with everything happening, so just keep doing you, Grant.
On to the next. All right, man. Later. Good to see you. Shades by Chardal says it's cognac. That is clever. Cognac. I'm taking it and pretending it's my idea, not attributing credit, because that's how I do. Just kidding. Alan, what's up?
Hey, Grant, how you doing?
I'm okay, man. How you doing?
Been doing good, man. I wanted to tell you, have you heard the media with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen coming out of college?
Pardon? Say it again.
I said, did you hear when Mahomes and Josh Allen got drafted, like what they were bashing them before they even started playing?
That's true, right? I mean, a lot of people thought Josh Allen was trash. When the Bills took him, people were laughing, right?
Yeah, and then with the Patrick Mahomes, I thought it was a dumb pick because they traded up to go pick him instead of at the time when they were with Alex Smith, they were winning games.
Yeah,
they thought it was a waste of a pick. But they were the first ones, to hop on the wagon and say, "Hey, I've been calling this man since day one." And
I feel you. I know.
Yeah, but
that's gonna happen to Trey, right?
Well, yeah, but then you could say, "I've been here since day one," right? But
yeah.
Go ahead.
I've never said the guy's gonna be a Hall of Famer or Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. It's just people talk like, "Man, I've seen enough. He's trash." Like, no, he's not. What are you talking about? He's definitely not trash. Definitely better than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's probably pretty good. Let's see. I mean, he's 22. Wow, but yeah, seems silly.
And do you think at first with how the O-line issues is, you think they will throw in a lot more RPOs?
Yeah, I would think so. Get the ball out quick, right? And also move the pocket, like get him rolling, get the quarterback rolling left and right. Get him the hell out of there. That's what I would do as much as possible. Yeah,
because like based off what Philly, how they won their Super Bowl with Nick Foles, they did a lot of RPOs to make it simple reads, and maybe that's what college should do to like make Trey comfortable from the pocket.
Agreed.
Maybe expand as the season go.
Yep. I also think getting a good offensive lineman would help too. Sorry to the people who are on the team, but prove it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for those, I'll probably put Ross Dwelley in, right?
No
RPOs.
Yeah, Ross Dwelley's cool for that. Kittle. Also, when you move the pocket, you also usually want to bring like a tight end over as like a personal blocker, so that the quarterback has time to set up and throw down the field in case there's a blitz. So Dwelley could do that too. But yeah, there's a lot of ways they can make life easy for Lance. And what's cool about rolling him out is easy to scramble if no one's open, cuts the field in half, less to read. Good opportunity to throw deep. I mean, gets him way far away from the pass rushers. He's way faster than the pass rushers anyway. I mean, I think he's going to be a real problem on the perimeter. To me, what he needs to do is be functional, not better than functional in the pocket. But he's never going to be Peyton Manning in the pocket. He needs to be good in the pocket. When he's on the perimeter, he could be the best. He could be the best player in the league. The most, because on the perimeter, I mean, he's got Josh Allen's arm strength with more speed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's got Lamar Jackson's speed with more arm strength. Not quite Lamar Jackson's speed, but on the perimeter, he's a freaking problem. And he's Kyler Murray with size. You know what I mean? That's what, and Kyle has to create that. He has to create those opportunities because those opportunities are going to win you games. As soon as he got Trey Lance out of the pocket against Houston, there's nothing Houston can do. They're like, we can't defend the whole field.
Yeah.
We can't defend the whole field. That's too much. You know? It's too much. Anyway, I got to take more calls, Alan, but thank you for calling in.
All right. Have a good one, Grant.
You too. C. Diggy, you ready? What's up, C. Diggy?
Grant, Cohn, what's going on?
C. Diggy, what's up, man? How you doing?
Nothing much. We back. We made it back on, man. I've been missing it, man. I've been missing it. Kind of,
man.
You've been going through some stuff. Congratulations on your house and everything, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, man, I just wanted, again, drop some quick topics, man.
All right.
With Trey, man, I really got high expectations for Trey. I think he's going to be a lot better than a lot of people give him credit for. Watching you, just looking at other things, how a lot of people are against him, but now things are turning. So, and you got a chance to see him and everything. Nobody got a chance to really see him. So, I think it's going to be really good. I think he's going to be really good.
I got a question for you, a theory.
Okay.
Is it possible that Kyle Shanahan is kind of purposely wants people to doubt Trey Lance? Like, bring that bar way, like bring the expectations down. And then when Trey Lance does what I think he's going to do, Kyle Shanahan can be there like,
I told you.
Who doubted me? Who doubted me? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. I told you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He doesn't need to call his shot. He doesn't need to call his shot right now and say Lance is going to be great. He can just sit back and let people say dumb shit and be like, okay, I'll remember.
I was thinking too, especially, I kind of was feeling like because the plan that they had, he was holding him back. Like he didn't want to release things. He didn't want you to see nothing that that he had planned with Trey Lance. You know, like he just everything, right. And then all of a sudden, boom, you got this, and you got to make adjustments to it. But the less he showed, the less people can expect, the less people will see. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why he was kind of holding them back, and plus the finger. Nobody.
That's what I want to say. Hopefully, Kyle can keep Trey Lance healthy because I don't think we saw much healthy Lance last year. He hurt his finger early on. He hurt his knee. He might have been healthy in that Houston game, although he didn't say he was 100%. I'd like to see 100% healthy Trey because really, if he starts getting hurt a lot, then maybe we're going to have to start looking at Kyle as being culpable with some of these quarterback injuries because his quarterbacks are hurt a lot.
Exactly.
A lot. Yeah.
Exactly, which goes into one of the other things that I was going to say, like the O-line. And you never can, again, you never know what Kyle is holding back. Sometimes he's just holding, because we knew IU had great expectations for last year. And because of what he did his rookie season. So you don't know who else. You don't know what linemen. And I know you see things because you get to go in and to the OTAs and stuff. But I just feel like the O-line, Sermon, and Trey Lance, I think that he just wanted to keep those things bottled up so when nobody know what he got in store for them. And that's just me. I'm giving them a little credit on that.
All right, fair. But hold on. With Sermon and Ayuk in particular, I'm trying to go back. It seemed like what Kyle said about Ayuk was that it was a professionalism thing.
Right.
Why he wasn't. It was a professionalism thing. But he didn't say it had anything to do with anything in particular. Like, was it practice habits? No, not really. Well, what do you mean professionalism? Well, it's private. To me, what happened? Like, did something happen on a road trip? Was there something like professionalism? What does that mean? Like, was it a curfew thing? Was it something small? Like, it seems like it was probably something small yet significant. I don't even think it was how he played football. I have no idea what it was, but it's probably something professionalism. I don't know. Yeah. Right. And Sermon didn't play in that game either, right? Week one.
Right.
So I don't know what happened. Something like, you know what I'm saying?
So
might have been in Detroit, the issue. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
And I think he understands his style is really punishing on, like, especially the running backs, really punishing on their bodies. And I think that's why he consistently go out and get guys that he feel like can endure. We're drafting LSU running back. Nothing big, nothing explosive about him, but he's a big guy and he can move.
So is the undrafted free agent they signed, Jordan Mason.
Right.
Interesting. They get a new running back coach, and it seems like Kyle's like, so what do you think of the room? And he's like, good, but they're all small guys who get hurt. And Kyle's like, man, you got a point.
Another right.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. So with the DBs, okay, we got Jason. He looking like he want to come around. I seen that you said Odom got burnt a couple times, and Dinner. Denard, he I think he was a pretty good guy. He's actually from this area, so
Darqueze Dennard?
Yeah.
So, I wanted the Niners to draft him in 2013 when he was coming out of Michigan State. I was like, that's the guy. Forget Gilbert. That's the guy. But I think he might be better at nickel because he never had that 4.3 speed.
Right.
He's a good player. Pick.
And I think he's good. He's a good contester. So I think we might end up being all right out there. It didn't really look too good toward the end of the season in the draft, but now the things coming together, closer it get, it looked like we do have some things in place that I think can be pretty solid in the DB.
I think so too. I mean, for what this team did going on that run with Jimmy Garoppolo, they should be able to go on an even better run with Trey. I just hope they keep him upright. I hope they keep him healthy. Because if Nate Sudfeld has to start 4 games this year, it's over. Not over, but they're not making the playoffs if that has to happen.
Which brings me to my next point.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of, what do you think about Cap trying out in Oakland?
I think it's cool, but I noticed that they haven't signed him. Like, what's going on? Yeah, what happened? Yeah.
I really want to see him at least get a squad and play in a preseason game. Just to see, because, like, again, he's been gone. You don't know what he has. You don't know about, how he can compete. He's throwing well and things like that, but I know a lot of Niners fans probably wouldn't, but I would like to see him back up, Trey, because that's
the thing. I agree with that.
I feel like, you bring Trey in, you bring somebody in that has been in championship environment. No, we didn't win Super Bowls, but he was contending. He was right there so many times. So you bring somebody in that has that recent chemistry, and he can kind of coach that guy, hey, man, you got similar style of play. This is what I did in a scenario like this.
Exactly.
Whether it's good or bad. This is what I did and it was bad, or this is what I did and it was good. So I think that would bring some things to light, but I don't think Shanahan cared for him too much, So
he already got rid of him once, right? But to me, he's a better quarterback than Nate Sudfeld. I don't care how long Colin Kaepernick has been on the bench. He's better than Nate Sudfeld. He gives you a better chance to win than Nate Sudfeld. To your point, he's the same style as Trey Lance, a better fit. Yes. I mean, why are the Raiders the one thinking about this? So the Niners are willing to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. They say if they don't trade him. Who's cheaper, Jimmy or Colin? Colin. Who's a bigger distraction, Jimmy or Colin? Jimmy.
Right.
Fucking Jimmy. So to me, I mean, I'm with you on it. It'll never happen.
From a media standpoint, now Colin would bring a lot of attention, and I don't think he wants that. He low key, kind of smooth kind of guy. So I don't think he wants that. And again, like we said, he got rid of him once, but a lot of things has changed in that time. I don't think he's really fond of people that playmaker outside of his scheme. So that rules out Colin.
Right.
Because he's a runner.
He didn't want a quarterback like Colin 5 years ago. Now he has a quarterback like Colin.
Right.
So what are you doing, man? Yeah.
Right.
So you draft Brock Purdy and like give Nate Sudfeld guaranteed money. Why?
Why?
Yeah.
And I never try to knock a man's talent, and obviously it take a lot to get where Nate Sudfeld is, but I just don't think he's not the premier guy. He's not the money that you gave him. I feel like you could give Colin.
Hold on real quick, because people say I'll be getting personal these days. I'm not knocking Nate Sudfeld. I'm stating the obvious. Nate Sudfeld was on the Niners practice squad last year. No one wanted him.
Right.
Now he's your backup and you're trying to act like he's a commodity and you can win games with him. That's not Nate Sudfeld. That's the Niners projecting onto Nate Sudfeld, something that's not there. Why?
Right. And then
Why?
the other guy, Brock, you get Brock, who's similar to Nate. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't hire on Brock, but hey, what did I know?
Again, it's not Brock's fault. The Niners drafted him. Why? You have nothing in common with the starting quarterback skill set. What is that?
Right. His linemen for passing and the kind of quarterbacks that he go after, they don't fit. They don't. He don't get major protector. He gets smaller guys that can move, that can get out and make blocks down the field. But
he prioritizes run blocking over pass protection, which is a little strange in 2022. Just a little. I mean, it works for him to an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent.
And
see, Diggy, man, I gotta take more calls though, man.
Hey,
sorry.
It was good hollering at you, Grant. Hey,
great to talk to you.
Hey, Atlanta.
I'm coming. I'll be there.
All right.
All right, see Diggy. Peace.
Right.
Later. The coach and then Irvin. The coach, what's up? Hey, put that out, man. What you working with?
Incense.
Okay. YouTube trips on that. All right, what's up?
You have been busy.
A little bit.
That's an understatement.
A little bit. It's like the eye of the storm, you're just like sitting there and like the whole world's going crazy. You're sitting there like, I'm just gonna chill and nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're a pro. You're a pro.
Yep.
Whatever. It just comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a couple of things though that have come out that we got to backtrack on. So, one is Trey's injury to his finger. How does that, being the resident, Kyle guy, how do you square that with how Kyle dealt with Trey throughout, the season, being really, calm on him, not really talking about the things that he could do, all those times that you lambasted him for like really not protecting him and really not lauding him, and why are you always propping up Jimmy? And lo and behold,
that's a good point.
The kids.
Also, the game plan against Arizona. God, we crushed that.
That was gonna be my gut punch. I was gonna kick you in the nuts with that because his game plan makes a lot of sense now.
It does. That totally crossed my mind. Absolutely. And it's interesting that the Niners pretty much took a say no evil, hear no evil. Like, don't say anything about it. You do not talk about this. And everyone, fine. I get it now. Hey, it just shows you, man, there's so much that happens on football teams that you don't understand. You don't know.
Yeah. And there's so many things that happen when you're trying to get views. But that was a shot. So let's move on. So also in the same thread though, Iggy, think about what they did for Brandon Ayuk throughout the season, right? And we can speculate all we want. I understand that, I like your trend. When you meet somebody on a personal level, I can even see how you cover them. You being able, the dwelly connection. You know what I'm saying? I understand. And go ahead.
I actually don't know it really that well. I know his family. I don't know him that well.
But I understand. But I see how you use kid gloves. You know what I'm saying? So all I'll say is that out of Brandon Ayuk's own mouth, how he talked about the different perspective of being a leader and how to teach young guys how to be pros. Mm-hmm. I don't even think we have that conversation if he doesn't go through that maturation process that he went through last season.
There was something unprofessional he did right around week 1 that I don't know what it was, but I guess
I wanted to touch on that too.
Yeah.
I got my ears to the ground. I was hearing that Brandon Ayuk was late to meetings.
It sounds like something like that. I mean, if Kyle's gonna say it's unprofessional, leave it at that. It's between us. That's kind of what he's saying, right? Otherwise, he would be like, he wasn't playing well enough,
right? And think about it this way. Think about the inverse: who is Kyle? What kind of coach is Kyle to be on camera talking about? Yeah, well, he missed the meeting, so it's on him. Brandon Ayuk is up next. You deal with that, Brandon.
Yeah.
Don't blame me for holding him back. It's not my doghouse.
That's true.
He missed the meeting.
That's true.
Brandon's up next. You handle it. And then he walks off camera.
That's right.
Come on. Come on. So, I feel like there's a lot of times where we do need to understand that, heavyweight's the crown. If you're going to be the lead guy, there's a lot of stuff where I even think that Brandon, I don't even think he was really exposing anything. I think he was just talking in jest about being a leader, and it just came out about how he feels about his position on the team now, especially with Debo not being around. It kind of falls on him, and there's just those couple of points I wanted to bring up to you. That's all. I'm really excited about Aaron Banks.
Oh yeah,
I am.
Okay,
and I'm gonna tell you why.
Tell me.
Okay, so his offensive line is not a position that you can fake. You can't be like halfway good at it and then look better. You can't hide on the offensive line, and I think that his body was a very big issue. He does have a really good background. Aaron Banks was he's a Bay kid. He's from around that area.
Yeah,
he
went to high school in Alameda. No, he's from Alameda and went to high school in El Cerrito, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was also a really good basketball player as well.
Oh, that's good. That bodes well.
Yes, he was a very good.
Real quick, when I saw him, my first impression was, oh, he lost some weight. Nice. He looks better.
Yeah, he's a very good basketball player, and he was really quick on his feet. I think that they cheated when he got to Notre Dame, and they just threw a lot of per diem meals on him to get him fat, and it worked on that level. You know what I'm saying? And
the biggest dude, yeah,
it works where you can titty block and be lazy on the offensive line. I mean, it is what it is.
I didn't play football. That's a new term. I like it, but I dedefinitely understand it. I get it. It's visual.
I mean, any offensive lineman understands if you've been chastised for titty blocking, you know what it is. So,
man,
what I'm saying is that I just feel like he's really had the time to work on his body, and I really believe with him going back to the left side, which I've been hearing, that's really the plan. You think about it, the Niners really weren't going to pay. They weren't going to pay Lincoln $13 million a year. That's not. It's not happening. So I feel like they actually made the plan for Aaron Banks to come in to where he is now on the left side. It's just that he was just so woefully bad at the right side, and he was out of position and out of shape. Yeah. Everybody freaked out. But I really do believe that the real plan for him is the left side.
I agree. I think they drafted him with 2022 in mind, knowing that they probably weren't going to re-sign Laken Tomlinson because he's good and expensive. I think that was the whole idea. And so now that's why in the first practice, the starting left guard was Banks. I think it doesn't mean he's going to be the starter week one, but they're giving him the first shot for sure.
Right. Sure. The same thing. I mean, and as a
previous caller pointed out, I think the Niners are kind of transitioning more to a power between the tackles running game than an outside zone scheme. I think that's the truth.
Well, I mean, to that point, Anthony Lynn is a specialist in the power run game.
Right. He worked with Greg Roman in Buffalo.
He's a power run game specialist. So to that point, I do believe that the Niners are going to start looking at really getting stout up front. And I think we're going to start seeing a different situation coming. And to be honest with you, if you think about it, the middle of the field is really going to have to be what we control this season, because I really think that with Trey in there, the edges are going to be something that we can just get to at will.
Right. I would imagine too. Plus with Debo and George Kittle blocking, I agree.
It's going to look so much different with him on the field versus Jimmy. So, hey, you've been handling the last couple of days really good, man.
Unfortunately, I've been through this before. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it happens. Millionaires with feelings. It is what it is.
It is what it is. But, Coach, great to see you, man.
Good.
All right, later. Real quick, Robert Whitaker says, I think you're justified in your criticism of players, but does it bother you when your criticism makes players like Javon really upset? It does. I don't mean to. I look at myself as like a harmless roaster, basically. And when people get really upset, I'm like, whoa, it was just a joke, man. Like, it's not that serious. And, I've talked a lot. Like, I've expressed remorse and regret about how I handled McGlinchey a couple of years ago. Part of me feels like I took it too far with McGlinchey. Part of me feels like I didn't. Part of me feels like it's a first-round pick. But what surprised me was that it wasn't McGlinchey. It was Javon. And I've spent the last week, like, really thinking about what it was. I go back and look at all. If you go to my Twitter, you can search anything you can search things I ever tweeted. Type in Kinlaw. You tell me if I took it too far. I really didn't think I talked about him that much. I thought I talked about him as much as you would talk about a first-round pick. I thought I talked about him less than any first round pick the Niners have drafted in my time covering the team. I was just surprised that it was him. But again, I didn't know him. It was my first time meeting him, and that's probably why I was so surprised. Irvin Niner Johnson, sorry to make you wait so long. Beautiful background. How are you?
Appreciate it, man. Just enjoying this beautiful day out here in Maryland.
Nice.
But just wanted to come on here and link up with you again, man. First off, let you know the way you handled that situation. Man, I commend you, brother.
Thank you, man.
You know, you really handled it well. You know, I don't know if I'd have been able to keep my composure like that, but you can tell you've been through that situation before, the way you handled it.
Yeah. Grizzled vet. Yeah.
Yeah. But second thing, man, it's what I'll be looking for this week as far as in OTAs. I'll be looking to see which receiver kind of steps up to be the guy that Trey is kind of relying on this year. For some reason, I know that, you know, we got Debo still, and Ayuk is definitely, you know, stepping up, and we're expecting big things from him this year. But for some reason, I just think that Jawan Jennings is going to be the guy that, like, when they need a big play, he's going to be the guy. When Trey is, like, looking for that safety valve, he's going to be the guy. I think he's going to have a real, like, a breakout season this year. And, you know, he's going to do some things that people weren't really expecting. I mean, for a while, even when he came in as a UDFA, I thought, you know, this guy could be good.
I agree.
But
I think he's 7th round pick, but yeah, close enough. Here's what I know. He had a more dominant practice on Tuesday than Ayuk. Like, Ayuk's an excellent player. Ayuk reminds me of Amari Cooper in a lot of ways. To me, Jawan Jennings is like Debo in the sense that they have this extreme will to compete, and it pops out easily, quickly. Right. I'm not saying Ayuk doesn't have it, but I'm not saying he does either. I just, with Jennings and Debo, I think it's real evident, and they are like trying to dominate you in a practice in May. It means that much. I like that about Jawan Jennings.
The dog mentality is definitely, you can see that with Jawan. He has it.
Yes, he does.
I'm just waiting to really see him unleash it. He did it a little bit last year. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And lastly, man, how do you think the dynamic between Anthony Lynn and Kyle Shanahan is going to play out this year?
That's interesting.
Because I have my opinion on it, but I wanted to see.
I want to hear your opinion on it. I want to hear. I haven't thought about it. It seems like something you've been thinking about. So I want to hear.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Honestly, and this might sound crazy.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just think like the front office really was like they lost a little bit of faith maybe in Kyle, and they're like, okay, we need to bring in somebody that's kind of be like your backbone, Kyle, like somebody that's going to, you know, somebody that's going to like step in there and really like be a leader.
The bad cop, if he needs to be the bad cop.
I mean,
Kyle won't do it. Kyle's a good guy.
Exactly. Like Kyle is more of the player's coach.
Yeah.
You know, kind of wanting to be friendly with the guys, cool with the guys.
Yep.
But Anthony Lynn, and if you look at their resumes as head coaches, there's not much of a difference besides the fact that Kyle's made it to, you know, 1 or 2 NFC championships.
That's a good point.
But
that's a good point.
I mean, if you really look at the resumes, they're not that much of a difference.
I would like to think that Kyle hired Anthony Lynn because Kyle had a moment of self-reflection and realized he had a weak spot and Anthony could help him, but I don't know. Maybe it was the Niners. They were like, "Hey, guess who your new assistant head coach is? Guess."
Hey, and if we got to get rid of Kyle, we already got a head coach waiting. If we got to do that, if that happens, if it gets to that point.
If worse comes to worse, you got not only you have Anthony Lynn, you got D'Amico Ryans there too. You got a couple of guys.
Hey man,
I really like your shirt. It's a nice.
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, where'd you get that shirt? I want to know.
Actually, well, my wife's bought this for me, so yeah, you gotta ask her.
There you go.
But yeah, man. I think that's gonna play. That's gonna be interesting this year, man. So we'll keep watching and see how that plays out. But I think that's gonna determine a lot of success this year for the team.
I agree, Irvin. All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, bro.
Later. T-Bizzle, I can't tell if you're wearing a shirt or not. So you're going to have to like reorient everything. Yeah, you're not. So I don't know. You're going to have to work that out, but I'll see you in a minute. Benjamin, what's up, dude?
Sup? So, How are you doing? First off, I
I'm
haven't
all right,
seen
man.
you in
How
a
you doing?
while because
Yeah,
I
it's been a
haven't.
minute.
I
Every
yeah, I
time you
haven't.
come back on, your voice is like way deeper. You got like a mustache. It's hella funny. Like, anyway, what's up?
Anyways, yeah. So I wanted to come on here and talk about the Rams and how like I think they got better in a way, but I think the 49ers could be, and this is how the 49ers will beat them. And I think this is going to be really key. The Rams, you could argue, got worse in the trenches because they lost Sebastian Joseph Day, and they also got lessened like with Von Miller.
Right.
So I think you could
And
actually make
Whitworth.
the argument that the Rams, yes, they got better on the offensive side of the ball by adding Allen Robinson and obviously getting those running backs back. But what has been the Rams' biggest weakness when they play the 49ers is stopping the run, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. And so the Rams honestly went into this offseason. It's funny. They weren't trying to, because if they would have really wanted to stop the 49ers, they would have invested more into that defensive line. Instead, they actually invested more into their offense and then not as much into their defense. So that's encouraging because the 49ers, the Rams didn't make any effort to stop anything of what the 49ers are going to try to do. So it's a good sign for the 49ers fans because we're going to be able to run the ball and they're not going to be able to stop it year after year. And it's just so funny because that might be 1 or 2 wins right there because they didn't go into this offseason trying to stop the run. They actually lessened it. So,
and what's crazy is like if you look at the Niners schedule, it's tough. You look at the Rams schedule, it's worse. They might have the worst schedule in the league. It's really tough. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they have, and yeah, that's why it's like, yes,
I do think though. I think Bobby Wagner's going to be a nice little addition to that run defense.
Yes,
but
it is.
Trenches, they're weaker for sure. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why I'm like, our schedule is tough, but so is the Cardinals and Seahawks. I mean, and Rams schedule. So, that's what I wanted to say as well.
Are you picking the Niners to win the division? Is that what you're saying? saying?
No, I still have the Rams just because like Matthew Stafford, you've got actually Cam Akers coming back, and he was really big for them as well. And then you arguably have Allen Robinson, I think with a good quarterback like Matthew Stafford is going to be a super elite. He didn't have the right quarterback in Chicago. So their offense is going to be explosive this year. And then one more thing that I have for you. Who do you think will be a breakout player for the 49ers this year?
I'd like to say Juwan Jennings. I think he's going to have a big time offseason if he stays healthy. I think he's going to get a lot of targets, man. Because again, you need someone who catches everything with Trey Lance because Lance doesn't throw the most catchable ball. I mean, it's not feathery like Jimmy's is. So that's Jennings. That's Dwelly.
I was going to say, and that's a really good one, but I was going to say a sleeper, and this is the rookie Drake Jackson.
Drake Jackson.
Yeah. Because I think he's going to be getting a lot of like single teams. It's kind of like the Bosa effect in year 1 when Armstead and Buckner were getting and D Ford were getting all the double teams.
And I think they're going to take Ebukam off the field to put on Drake Jackson. And he's going to get the D Ford role right away. He's going to get hella sacks.
Yeah. And so, and a lot of single teams.
He might get more sacks than Bosa.
That's a guy that's a guy that I could easily see getting 8-9 sacks. And this defensive line, oh my gosh, it's going to be really scary. You're going 12 people deep and you're like, wow, like all of them could really contribute. So,
Yep. Ben, good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Peace.
See you later.
All right, we're going Peter Lucas, then T Bizzle for Shizzle, then Hums. All right? That's the next 3. Peter Lucas, what's up, man?
Hey, Grant, how you doing, bro? Like, good to see you back on Sunday. I did want to. I know you're probably tired of talking about it, but I was really happy to see you take that whole situation the way that you did. I did do a little defending on Twitter just because I'm not so much for you, bro, but for content creation in general. I just feel like everybody has the right to do what they want to do, and however anybody takes it, don't watch. And that's the way I look at it. But anyway, moving on to the reason why I got on, which is I feel like the main thing to look at this season coming in is the offensive line. And the upheaval in the offensive line, we really don't know what that starting group is going to look like. Alex Mack, they kind of gave us a hint as to what was going to happen with him, but the reality is we really don't know until they tell us, and we all know the 49ers don't tell us anything until to the last second. So
right, like in a
I'm
couple of
really
months,
interested.
if they announce his retirement, he's like, they're gonna be like, yeah, we knew for months, we knew.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why'd you tell us?
Oh,
Yeah.
Thanks, bro. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do at that center spot. Do they go with JC Treader, like go after a guy like JC Treader, or do they go with? I'm really pulling for Donovan West. I think that he has the most, I think, experience out of those rookies at that spot, and I think that would be a way to go. I really don't want to see Daniel Brunskill at center again. I really don't.
Me neither.
So
that was not a good experiment. Didn't work.
It was not, and I hate that they're making that a thing. Like talking about he can replace him. And Brendel, while he looked good in last preseason, he was going against second and third stringers. So I mean, what are we talking about?
What are we talking about? Yeah, I don't know what the plan is at center right now. I don't get that. That's a tough.
Yeah.
One.
But yeah, that was really all I wanted to talk about. Like,
what about Weston Richburg? He's younger than Alex Mack.
Yeah, yeah, pull him off the scrap heap. You know,
Daniel Kilgore, you out there? Jesse Sapolu?
Yeah, right, anybody. I appreciate your time.
All right, man. Good to see you. T-Bills, now you're eating? Dog. Killing me, man. All right, I'm getting you next. What's up, Hums?
What's going on, Grant? How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man. How you doing? Thanks for being so patient. I'm sorry to make you wait.
No, it's all good, brother. First-time caller. Been listening to you. From Florida. Capital of Florida, Tallahassee. It's crap out here, man. I came out to Cali for the past week for the first time, and man, it wasn't. San Francisco actually. I was there for work, and man, I'll tell you, it wasn't what I thought it was.
What do you mean?
Oh man, Grant. I'll put it like this: I would not let my girl walk around those streets alone.
Same.
God, it's horrible. At night, me and a coworker went to a bar, and you got $1 for this. You got $1. I was like, bro, I don't need nothing. I'm good.
All I want to say is, like, in San Francisco's defense, pretty much every major city on the West Coast is like that post-pandemic, man. LA,
Okay.
You go to Venice Beach, it's not what it used to be. Seattle, it's like, what happened to the world after the pandemic? Yeah, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, Grant. It's tragic, you know. I hope things get better for those folks out there, but it's not looking in that direction.
True,
I want to talk to you about a couple things, man. First things first, the way you handled the Javon Kinlaw situation, pure class. I would not have handled it in that situation. Number one, stop eating. Like you called on the show to talk. You got food flying out of your mouth. It's just disrespectful. All right, my nephew is 6 years old. He has better manners than that.
What do you think he was eating? That's what I wanted to ask. Was it squirrel? Squirrel jerky? I'm sorry.
That's hilarious, Grant. No, I know you don't want to talk about that. I know that's water under the bridge. I just want to mention, ever since I started watching you, I have not missed a show with your father. This guy is pure class, Grant, and I see where you get your patience from when dealing with situations like Kinlaw, and I directly see it coming from Lowell. So
thank you.
Yes, sir. I just want to say Lowell and your moms, man, they did a great job of raising you, man. Just pure class. The next thing I want to talk about, Grant, is this backlash on Trey Lance. It baffles me, Grant. And let me ask you this: the games that we lost last year, can you tell me that if Trey Lance was in there, we would have lost that game? I'll tell you right now, we wouldn't have lost the Tennessee game. Prime time, Trey would not have screwed that game up. It was what? We lost by 3 points. Jimmy couldn't take it down the field. I'm telling you, I do not understand this backlash on Trey Lance. The kid is going into his second year. And who is that fool who called him one play Trey? I've never heard that before. Never have I heard that ever since we drafted the kid.
Never, ever. No, it didn't make any sense. I don't understand, man. But I guess every week that goes by this offseason where he actually plays in front of the media, that should help. But you know what didn't help? All the local media, national media kind of poo-pooing Trey Lance last year. I feel like that kind of opened the door for anyone who didn't see him to just be like, oh, yeah, Trey Lance is whack. You could say that. It was sort of like allowed. I was only being like, what? Based on what?
Grant, there is not another rookie quarterback last year that I would have wanted instead of Trey Lance. Granted, Justin Field does look good. Long-term wise, I'm going with Trey, man.
I think he's the most gifted quarterback in that draft class from last year.
Yeah, Justin Field is pretty damn good. But besides Justin Field, Zach Wilson, Why is he not getting any backlash? I don't get it.
To me, that's the question. Of all the quarterbacks that went top 3 last year, he's the one looking shaky. And if I were Robert Saleh right now, I'd feel really good about my team. But my question would be, did we take the right quarterback? Because I don't know that they did. I'm not sure that they did. We'll see. They might. Maybe he's thinking, I should have taken Trey. Should have taken Trey.
Trey or Justin? I think going into that draft, I thought Zach Wilson was going to be maybe 6, 7, 8 overall. I was very shocked to see who's number 2, but I was happy. I was like, you know what? We're not getting him. You know how Kyle and John flopped those first-round picks. They've only had one good one in Nick Bosa for as long as they've been here. You name me another good first-round pick that they've had that wasn't a bust, like you mentioned, and that actually panned out. Besides Nick, I can't think of one.
Hums, I gotta take a couple more calls, man. But please call in anytime. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Great talking to you, brother. You take care. All right.
Did you say that Tallahassee was crap? Was that the first thing you said?
It's terrible, man. Do not take a vacation here, Grant.
Why do you live there?
I went to college here, and my family's here. So I've been here for a couple of years, but I do not recommend anyone investing money to visit Tallahassee. Pure shit.
Funny, man. All right, man. Have a good one, Hums.
Take care, brother.
Peace. All right, T Bizzle. I think he's ready. What's up, man? How you doing?
You weren't trying to see the shirtless bod?
No, I was trying to bring out the best of T Bizzle for Shizzle. All right, and I have already.
Yep, I got this on the steps where Rocky ran up.
Wow.
Yep.
That's tight.
Yep. And then man, so I don't like this slander, man, about you trying to purposely antagonize folks to get money, to sue folks. And if I was your quality control agent, just like you're the quality control for the 49ers, what I would say is make a post and see if you can get a lawyer on it to just verify that this is accurate, that Javon technically committed assault and battery, which I believe he did. I'm not a lawyer, but I looked into it. I believe because he put his body on you, he gave you a reasonable concern to be concerned for your life. Like not your life necessarily, but like he gave you a reasonable concern to be like, I forget the wording, but all it takes for assault is just basically someone puts you in a place where it's reasonable for you to be feared that they're going to do violence to you. And battery, just the flicking of the hat off the head, technically, I believe was battery. I looked it up. I believe technically he did commit assault and battery against you. And like you said, he can't do that against reporters. Like the whole thing he did to you was totally inappropriate. If you wanted to say F you, all that stuff, totally, like you said, totally cool. But I believe that if you wanted to, you could. And like you said, you don't.
All the thing is, what I'm saying is, I don't want to. We already hashed it out and shook hands. And so people are saying like, oh, Grant just wants to ruin these players' lives. Grant just walks around the facility trying to sue people. No, I don't. As you pointed out, maybe I had the opportunity. I'm not saying I did. Maybe I did. I wouldn't take it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I would much rather sit down with Javon and listen, talk to the dude, shake hands, and move on.
That's what I would make a point of proving is saying, look, you guys are saying that I'm intentionally trying to antagonize players to sue them. If I wanted to, here's a lawyer that is showing, and here's the penal code that Javon committed assault and battery.
Hold on. But again, it's cool It's over between me and Javon. It's over between me and the Niners. For me to do that would be just responding to people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So the way I see it is like, let's just let it go. Javon's not talking about it. I'm not talking about it. Other people want to talk about it. Man, they're just gossips. They're just the kids in high school that were like, oh man, did you see that fight? Did you see that fight? Like, shut up. It's over. That's the way I look at it. I don't address it anymore.
From an outsider's perspective, it looked like a lot of players were still buying into that narrative, and like that's where I would say like,
yep. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see. At the same time, players are supposed to protect their team. I mean, support their teammates. So we'll see what happens. It's okay.
Okay, and I'll just make it about sports. We are gonna miss Jimmy's quick release.
Man, that came out of left field. I didn't see that shit coming. The timing of that was really great, comedic wise. I like that. Well, yeah. What else we're gonna miss about Jimmy? His leadership, his genuine good guyness.
We're gonna miss that handsome face.
Man, you got one right here though. I'll take his place.
Oh yeah, Mr. GQ. Yes, sir.
Right, T Bizzle. Good. Thanks for calling in, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace. Gizmo Maltese says Jimmy Butler was asked how he felt about the criticism. He said he doesn't watch social media. Why are Niners paying attention to social media? Because it's hard not to. Jimmy Butler's in his 30s, right? I'm just saying it's hard not to. Ask John Lynch how hard it is to not look at your social media, right? Ask me. Ask me. I was suspended from Twitter for 12 hours like a week ago for telling someone to slap himself, which was totally uncouth on my part. It was very hard to not be able to tweet for 12 hours. And it was overnight. I'm telling you, it's hard. James, what's up, man?
So, Grant, how you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. How you doing?
Oh, you can hear me, right?
Yep.
Last time okay. But I just wanted to say, you think maybe a lot of this talk about Trey might be to prepare us for keeping Jimmy?
I don't know. Well, tell me. Give me the theory. Explain it. Where are you coming from?
You just see a lot of. It just seems like Niners don't have leaks, right? John's a media guy, and who's spreading all these illicit rumors about Trey? People that aren't seeing him talking to somebody who's talked to somebody. I just think prepare for Jimmy to be on the team.
Yeah. I mean, they keep saying like they'll trade him. The plan is to trade him. You're not trading Jimmy Garoppolo. I would be quite surprised.
Just release the guy.
If you don't trade him, then what's going to happen?
Just release the guy, man. If they don't trade him, he's going to start.
Yeah, because that's the thing. They said they won't release him. So,
right.
And I've said if they keep him on the team, he's going to start. So, yeah, man, I think that's probably the worst case scenario, and it's more likely than people want to admit.
It's depressing. And for let me say something else. Listen, all you people out there trying to diss my man Grant, been watching this guy for years now. This man ain't trying to get no one's back. This man does it on his own. Pardon, this my little man over here. This man does it on his own. Speaks respect. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's a little funny. You know, you get butthurt about knees and stuff like that. But let me tell you this. The issue, I'm glad you and Javon squashed that. But let me tell you this. Eric Armstead, you little punk. You need to cut that out, dude. You're too much of a coward. You blocked the guy for no reason. Just because he's here criticizing. That's his job. He's telling people what's happening. And no, I wouldn't even call it criticism. He's just telling the truth. But you want to get on here, tell lies about the man, block him just because you can. And then you wonder why we're not NFL Man of the Year. You're a little punk, dude. His dad, Grant and his father are too classy to say this stuff. You're a little punk, Eric Armstead. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm saying he got me fired up. I know he can't hear me. But listen, bro.
Eric,
listen, bro, Armstead. You got a problem. I strap up the gloves with you myself, Armstead. Don't be a little punk. Come out. Talk to the man. Sit down with the man. This man has been nothing but respectful to this team, giving guys like me out here in upstate New York an opportunity to see what's going on with my squad. And you make me feel like, damn, blow this team up. I can't root for Eric Armstead. You kidding me? How soft can you be, bro?
Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. These are your fans. These are 49er fans. I hear you, man. I'm with you.
I'm sorry, man.
What did I ever say about that? He is on a tirade every year. He's trying to get my credential. He's trying to get me fired. He's trying to take away my livelihood. What did I say? That you're a better defensive tackle than DN? That's just stating the obvious.
Right. And that's where it'll cross the line for me, because listen, I've been the boss and, I've had to fire people, I have people who cost a job, but I mean, come on, people are out here raising families, and stuff like this. And this guy wrongly, it's not even, listen, Grant, if you were what he said you were trying to say you were, I wouldn't be on here watching you.
Nope.
You know what I mean? You're a great dude. And it bothers me, bothers me that he can get away with that little dirtbag move right there, Eric Armstead. You're soft, bro. Wow. You're soft.
Wow.
You're soft.
James.
Sorry, man.
Calling in.
I don't mean to bring this kind of energy to your show, but man, I love your show. Thank you for bringing this stuff. And you know what I mean? I respect you, brother. And your father, listen, I'm 43. I've read your father's work years ago, follow him. I didn't know you were his son at first. And I just want to say that he's a national treasure. He's a national treasure.
Thank you, man. So are you. I appreciate you.
So you have a good day, Grant.
You too, man. Take care. Keneal.
What is good? That last call was funny.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. One thing I will say is that your tweet with the Trey Lance kind of
how is Armstead? Hold on, how is Armstead going to spin that last call? He's like Grant and his employees at Sports Illustrated are like no, it's not what happened, Eric. That's just one of your fans. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
Oh wow. No, I love the tweet that you put out, the little respectfully, I don't care what y'all say, and people were letting it go over their head. They're like, oh my gosh, how could you say that?
You can't say that. It's like actually Trey did. Everyone liked it. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna keep it football related. I'm gonna keep it football related for the time being. Just a couple of questions. One, I know, but when we first signed Travarius Ward, you're a little skeptical about the interceptions and things like that. But I feel like since you saw him in person, even just for that one day, you're like, oh no, he's locked down. He's gonna be he can be our number one guy for real. Is that
we'll see. He is good. He is. I guess basically what I said was the Niners got a really good corner. Maybe they should have got a great one. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe J.C. Jackson isn't better. That's all. That was my thing. But he is good, and he's better than Ambry. Checks notes. Ambry Thomas, yes, better for sure. Yep. Actually, the Niners have two good corners now. One good safety, maybe two good safeties, and all they need is a nickel, and they're good.
For sure. Hopefully, Ferret can stay healthy too. I mean, that's just a flyer, but if that's another guy that we him as well. Yeah. We'll see. And I think Hufanga is too slow, but if he's made this jump in his strength and he can really kind of complement Jimmy Ward in a lot of ways, I think he can.
Yes.
Can play.
It's a possibility. I mean, because really the bar is not too high from nothing against Tart, but it's not like Tart was some Pro Bowl playmaker. Like, just don't give up big plays, make your tackles. You're already at the Tart level. If you could, catch the ball that's like gift wrapped to you. When the team gift wraps you an interception that could put the team into the suit, just catch it. I think he might be able to do that.
I think he can do that. I think he's going to be takes advantage of opportunities in a lot of ways. And, we'll see what happens there. But on the offensive side, I've been kind of thinking we don't have a veteran receiver that we can go through, or a veteran receiver in that really help us. But I'm hearing Juwan Jennings looking super confident. He's looking like he can be that guy. Do you even think there's a point of bringing in another receiver to be like wide receiver 3 or to even compete for that spot at this point? Or you think Juwan Jennings, like, he got it at his job? We shouldn't even try to bring someone in there that can really compete with him at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the Niners have a 3-way platoon. Like, you got Ray, who's the gadget guy, Danny Gray, who's the field stretcher, deep threat, and Juwan Jennings, who's the third down red zone chain mover. Like, kind of got it all.
Yeah,
kind of got it all. That's a really good reserve unit at wide receiver.
It is. I've been trying to, like, maybe we should take a flyer on Julio for something cheap or something like that. But at this point, I'm like, nah. I feel like we got what we.
I agree. I forget old wide receivers, man. They can't run. I'm 34. I know how slow it is. And there's no quick twitch left. It's gone.
That's real.
It's gone.
That's real. And I just can't wait to see Trey, man. The idea that he was playing last year with a broken finger, even in those games and making some of those plays, is like, I can't wait. I think he's going to be great. And I saw a good tweet about Emmanuel Acho, and it says, hey, man, just keep your quarterback name out your mouth, man. Because you don't know what he's talking about. And
I wasn't even mad at Acho, but it just seems so lazy. Like, what? You heard something and none of it's right? You couldn't even get the stats right? It's like, dude, why don't you go call the person back and be like, I think I misheard. Can you tell me one more time? There was...
I wonder why they keep tearing him down. I think it's very interesting. And then, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens, though. I think he's going to be great. I really do. I think as long as he stays healthy, we are a contender in the NFC.
I agree. And my question is, will he stay healthy? Because last year there was an issue, and this year the offensive line got worse. So, Kyle, you got time. Whatever you got to say to Alex Mack, say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no plan. If Alex Mack isn't the center, he has to play center for this team. Say whatever you got to say. The raise, give him a raise.
Too comfortable. I feel like they're way too comfortable about it. Like when they ask, like, we'll see. I mean, he'll make it. He's on his honeymoon. He'll make a decision.
We'll figure that out. The season doesn't even start for 3 months. Like, what?
I'm pretty sure. Like, I would be shocked if after all this time that he wouldn't have told them at least, like, hey, I'm leaning towards retirement. You might want to sign another center or something like that, just in case.
Man, we got. The deadline's not for another few weeks. We got this. Look, we're gonna send him a gift basket, a flower arrangement. It's gonna be one. We're gonna send all of his favorite snacks.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, Kittle said something like, I've been telling his wife, his new wife, like, yeah, that was my wedding gift. Just have him come back. Have Alex come back for another
To
year.
me, what Kittle said is that the Niners' plan is to keep asking Alex Mack nicely. Like, oh my God. If I were Alex Mack and I knew I had that kind of position, I'd be like, yeah, I'm coming back for a raise.
Yeah, a little extra
raise. Otherwise, my back hurts, my neck hurts, my neck and my back hurt. So I don't think I can play this year. I'm so sorry.
All right, last thing before I go. Yeah. Cut Jimmy, man. Cut him. We just got to cut him. Just do it.
Today's a great day to cut Jimmy Garoppolo.
Like, we're ready. The team is ready I feel like the team is even ready at this point. Jimmy's not answering anyone's calls. No. Brian didn't talk to him. They're like, man, look, it's Trey's team. We're moving forward. It's cool. Like,
they got to get that conditional 6th-round pick in 2072 first, though. They got to get that. And then they'll move on.
Carolina gonna call him up for the conditional 6th.
What about a pick 50 years from now? How about that? Come on, you don't even want that pick.
That was funny when that report came out. It's like, oh, we'll trade like just about. We're looking open to any trade.
Any trade.
Yeah,
any trade. Doritos.
Oh man, Grant, just know we support you, bro. Like, it's been fun. Always, I enjoy.
Hey man, I really appreciate you. You were like the first dude to defend me on Twitter, and you got a lot of backlash. And I felt bad. Like, all my friends were trying to support me. It's like, guys, you don't want this. You don't want this. You don't want this. You don't want this. I brought this on myself. I can take it, and I do not fault any of my friends for not having like my back on Twitter. Like, this is my thing. I'm built for this. You don't need. It's not your shitstorm. It's my shitstorm. So I was like, oh, Keneal, I'm so sorry.
Like,
I'll always remember that you did that though. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Later, man. All right. But yeah, you don't have to have my back on Twitter, man. That's hard. Now you get the whole world coming down on you for something I did. You don't need that. Eric says, respectfully, you're the most critical person in the Niners media. Respectfully. True. So because you typically speak so high of Lance, that shows he's special, LOL. I mean, I do think he's a better quarterback than Colin Kaepernick ever was. I do. New York Nick. You're the last caller today. What's up? What's up? How you doing?
What's up? I'm the last caller today?
You're the last caller today.
Oh, awesome. 2 things, Grant. Well, 3 things. One, I'm kind of nervous to be on your show because I consume your content like, I don't know, crazy.
Thanks, man.
So, yeah. 2, well, yeah, an extrapolation of 1. I feel like, well, I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx, right?
Okay.
And my father and my brother are the only Niner fans I know, right? So I got onto Niners Twitter, and I realized, like, this fan base is really rabid. Like, it's really Cowboys level kind of, like, sometimes Cowboys level delusional, sometimes sometimes Cowboys level delusional. Also, like, I feel like Cowboys level passion. Like, these guys are really passionate, right?
Yeah.
So I was on Twitter and I'm like seeing all these tweets about you and all these things. I'm like, wow, these people, and like the trade thing, I'm like, wow, these people are really, 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 really invested emotionally. Like, I mean, I'm invested emotionally as well, but like just from like an on-field type of thing, these people are really personally invested, right? So yeah.
Are New Yorkers invested in the Yankees like that?
What happened?
Are New Yorkers invested in the Yankees like that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Emotionally.
I'd say, but emotionally and delusionally as well. Like, they're really right. Yankee fans are Cowboys level delusional.
Even also, Laker fans. Like, it's like those are the 4 in America, not Niners, Cowboys, Yankees, Lakers. Always think they're the best team. It's like, well, they used to be.
They used
to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They thought, I guess the fan bases thought sports history was written and sealed, and that was gonna be it, right? So yeah, Yankee fans are, oh my god, hella delusional, super delusional.
Yeah.
And the last thing I was gonna say, Grant, and this is kind of like my main point because I'm over my nervousness now. My main point is, I feel like the Jimmy G, Trey Lance situation. Even though I'm super excited for Trey, I think Trey is gonna be that dude. I think he has all the intangibles they talk about with Jimmy, like all this leadership shit they talk about with Jimmy. I feel like Trey brings that to the table probably more than Trey. I mean, more than Jimmy, because Trey is like 10 years younger than him. He's already commanding a locker room, already getting these dudes respect. You got to think, like, when you're in your 20s, like, you're still very young. Somebody who's 28, like Kittle, or 29, is looking at Trey like he's a fucking kid. You know, he's 21. He's a kid.
Kittle calls him a kid. Kittle calls him a kid in interviews. Great kid.
Exactly.
Hell of a kid. Yeah.
Right.
I wasn't in the NFL when I was that age. All that stuff. Yeah.
Right. Looking kind of like, I mean, not in a condescending tone, but kind of has like a little, like, you know, a little hint of it. Yeah. But I think it doesn't, to me, and me and my brother talk about this often, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Not that it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. I think that, well, actually it does, because it comes down in the past. It's come down. Actually, it hasn't come down to Jimmy G. It's come down to Kyle's insecurity. Yeah. It's come down to Kyle's like
lack of
messing
trust.
up. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And doing just weird shit like that Super Bowl, like the Super Bowl where we lost to the Chiefs. He's not running, like, we're averaging like 5 yards a carry. He's not running the ball. That's so uncharacteristic.
You can't blame Jimmy for that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. You can't really blame Jimmy for that Super Bowl. And I mean,
swapping out the quarterbacks won't necessarily fix everything.
Exactly.
Kyle's gonna need to like actually step up his game as well.
Right, exactly.
Unless Trey's gonna be like, fuck that play call, I got my own. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's there yet.
Right, exactly. Right. I mean, with this current roster and regime, if they want to win the Super Bowl for sure, like, it's gonna come down to Kyle. Yeah. It's his hurdle to jump over, because the Rams game too, similar.
Where's Debo, man? Jimmy's not the one freezing out Debo. You're the one freezing out Debo. Why?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
For sure.
All right, New York, Nick. Great call. Thanks for calling in. Calling
again.
Thank
you.
All right, man.
I'm definitely gonna call in again. Thank you, man.
All right, peace. I'm gonna let the Ramelia Sports Report slide in at the end, but then I gotta end it early. AK-49 or Isaiah, I'm sorry. I'm already way over time here, but if we do it again, which we will, I'll slide you guys to the front. What's up, Ram?
Grant, what's up, brother?
I'm chilling, man. How you doing?
I just wanted to come in and give you some support, man. Listen, do your job. You know what to do. Keep hitting them, baby. Keep hitting them. Because you know what? This has got to be one of the most diva. I know you can't speak on it, but let me just say something for you. If that was me, I would have been like, look, man, you played 18 games as a 49er. I don't even play in the NFL. You only have 1.5 sacks more than I do. You only got 15 tackles. If you got to show up. You can't be so sensitive. You know, this has got to be one of the most diva-esque teams in the NFL, from Devo to all that. But keep your head up, brother. Keep doing what you do. You're the one who's a voice of reason a lot of times. We all sometimes go a little far, you know. But I just wanted to give you some support, brother. And then the other players, you know, jumping on. I mean, what do they want? Somebody to kiss their ass, you know, when they're not doing good? Come on now. You know, look at Jim Rome got the desk turnover when he was talking about Jim Everett. You know, we've had that too, but that's when we had the owner who shall be nameless, when she took the owner that took the team to St. Louis. So I wanted to just let you know, man.
I want to say real quick, like, on Kinlaw's credit, ever since we talked for the first time, we've honored our handshake and we've respected what we said in the room. He's not on a crusade to ruin my life like Eric Armstead is. And what's crazy is that, like, to me, like, isn't that a distraction? Shouldn't all these players be focused on getting better instead of me? Because I didn't try to make myself the center of attention. I'm really trying to let this die down. But you guys keep fanning the flames. It's like, man, Eric, like, why don't you just focus on you?
I saw them jumping on you, and I saw other fans trying to blame you, and I said, man, he's just, you know, he's calling it like it is. What is wrong with that? You didn't go overboard, you know. And then when I saw I thought that he was squashing it when you guys were side by side, and I saw him come on your show. I thought he was going to apologize for knocking off your hat and all that stuff. And then to me, I even wrote on your comments that shows the weakness of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, that this guy thinks he can conduct himself. And I know you guys squashed it, but that he can conduct yourself and do that to a member of the media on Niners camp. And then he goes into, on your show and conducts himself like that. And then he's still not cut. You know, that doesn't happen with McVay's Rams. If he would have been cut with the quickness, because he's a marginal guy. You guys don't even really need him. You know, well, not you guys, but the Niners don't really even need him. So I know it's over. I just wanted to come in and, you know.
Because I don't ever want to be responsible.
No, you shouldn't. No, not saying that you're responsible, but he's an adult. He's a grown-ass man. You know, like, he's gone through his stuff, and so have you. You have your trials and tribulations, but at the end of the day, you're a professional. You got to do what you're supposed to do. So I just wanted to show you some support, brother. But to keep doing what you do, man. You didn't do anything wrong, and all you're doing is calling it like you see it, man. What are you supposed to do? Look at my guy Ben Schroenick, who's on my S list in the championship game, talking about the tart drop. What about the drop when he dropped it when it was just like this? And then Jalen Ramsey.
Are you not allowed to talk about that play on your show?
Yeah, I mean he's. I mean, if it was me and you're spitting out the sandwich that Jimmy G made him right there, it looks like Jimmy G made him a Subway sandwich, and he's spitting out the stuff out of his mouth when he's talking to you. I was just like, man, really, you're gonna go in on my dude like that? Come on, man. And then he's talking about, my kids, I got to take care of my kids, and he's not even conducting himself as an adult. So I just want you to give you some support, man. Take care of yourself out there. Don't worry about anything, like you said. All you're doing is your job. It doesn't matter what nobody thinks.
What I want to say is just on my experience covering football is it's a lot of pressure being a first-round pick. It's a lot of pressure. And if you haven't lived up to expectations right away, a lot of them lash out at the media. I mean, I've gone through this with a lot. I mean, Eric Armstead still hasn't gotten over the criticism he got when he was young. Anthony Davis 10 years ago, he was a good example. I mean, I'm just saying it's a lot of pressure. And I think a lot of these guys go from being worshipped in middle school, worshipped in high school, worshipped in college, first-round pick, think it's all going to be great, go to a team, you don't blow the doors off of it right away, and all of a sudden, like, you're not a god anymore. You're not treated like a hero anymore. In fact, people have negative things publicly to say about you. It's probably the first time these people have experienced that, and they don't like it. So I understand. I think that's why probably you see guys sort of when they hit 30, sort of like, you're like, oh, wow, like that was a really tough experience, but I'm better for it. And now look at me, and I can have these relationships with the media. Like Jimmy Ward can do it. Jimmy's also 30.
Yeah, so maybe you helped him learn something.
Jimmy was always a good guy. Jimmy was always a gentleman. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe you help him learn something. And real quick, I know you got to go. Thank you for bringing me in. I just said, I got to hurry up and get ready to get on real quick. Hopefully he'll let me in. So Jimmy G's going to stay then. Here we are. Jimmy G's still there.
I'll know.
So they traded. So this franchise was able to, and I know there's two different situations, but they let go of Joe Montana so fast, but they can't cut the umbilical cord with Jimmy. Right. They can't, and right. Kyle hasn't, and Kyle and all the Trey Lancers
of all time. You got to go. Sorry, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy. Now we need him. He makes a hell of a Subway sandwich. Yeah. But and then you got the Trey Lancers. They think that this guy's going to come in and ball out. I know that you are high on him too, but he's not going to be Mahomes right off the bat. I mean, it's going to take. There's going to be some growing pains just because. I mean, look at last year. They were 3-5. They were miraculously got back into it, to their props. They still needed the last game of the season to even make the playoffs, and that's with the veteran quarterback. Now, in Kyle Shanahan's system, this kid has to take his lumps. He's going to make mistakes that rookies do, dumb mistakes that rookies do. So luckily, the NFC is not what it used to be. So, and myself, Grant, I have the Niners 9-8. Maybe not just on the cusp of not making the playoffs. Yeah. And so it's just amazing, props to the kid. I hope he balls out. We needed the Niners because they punched us in the mouth in those 2 games leading up to the championship game. And they taught us, how to get in the trenches and get down and dirty. So now year 2 with Stafford and Allen Robinson and Wagner. I mean, we're looking to run it back. So I hope they're up to the task. We'll see what Trey has, but it's just amazing. The Trey Lancers out there, they think that he's going to come in and ball out from day one. It's not going to happen like that. He's a young fella. He's got to learn, and we'll see what happens. And those little balls he overthrows over the middle, Bobby Wagner and Troy Hill and Jalen Ramsey are ready to pick those off. So we'll see what happens. And if you can, Grant, float out there that with that deep edge rusher room that the Niners have, with Jimmy still being there, I guess he's going to stay there. The $25 million on the cap. Ebukom's going to cost $5 or $6 million if they keep him. Go ahead and cut him so we can swoop him up.
Yeah, good call. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I would not be surprised if that happens.
So that's what we're waiting for on that one. But anyway, take care, brother. Do what you do, and you got everybody talking. You're a national media darling now, and that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. Hey, what did my guy Razor Ramon say? Bad man stay forever or whatever. I didn't quote him. I'm sorry, but be the bad guy if you have to. Yeah, Scott Hall. Yes, brother. Yes. All right, man. Take care. Have a good afternoon, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Jorge says, hey, Grant, how have you seen Alfredo Gutierrez? Has he made any progress? Great question. And I know people want to know about him. It was the first practice. I didn't take a good look at him. Let me give you, I know you just gave me 50 pesos. I need to give you a good answer, but I can't lie and say something that I didn't see. But what I will say is I'm going to be watching him all offseason, and I'm going to see where he is compared to last year, because there is a lot of talent there. So I'll let you know. I'll be watching him this week. I'll make a mental note. I will put him in. See, I want to put him in the good, not so good, but he has to do something. If I see him in an 11 on 11, I will watch. So I'm going to get back to you. To be determined. I'm going to be watching him a lot in training camp as well. Guys, that's the end of the show. Hour and 40. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate all the support. It was nice. Now let's move on. OTAs week 2.